Denmark. A Nordic gem with breathtaking landscapes, castles straight out of fairy tales, and historic palaces dotting its serene coastlines. Yet, it remains a destination that many have yet to truly explore. Can you guess which country I'm talking about? If Denmark crossed your mind, you're absolutely right. But here's something you may not realize. Denmark is more than just a picturesque country. It's a place of mystery, intrigue, and even shocking curiosities that will leave you wondering how much you truly know about it. Did you know that Denmark, often celebrated as one of the happiest places on Earth, has a darker side lurking beneath the surface? Yes, this serene land hides disturbing truths, like a social experiment conducted with children that ended in tragedy. And if that isn't enough, how about this? In Denmark, it's common to find locals enjoying outdoor activities in cemeteries. Picture people sunbathing, walking their dogs, and having picnics among the gravestones. It's not your typical day at the park, is it? And if you thought you were in for a peaceful, laid-back introduction to Denmark, think again. There's a side to Danish culture that'll leave you speechless. What if I told you that Danish women have earned quite the reputation for making bold first moves? They give you the chance to be happy right from the start. Literally. Want to know more? Stick around because you're about to uncover facts about Denmark that you won't find in the guidebooks. But before we dive into this fascinating journey, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you won't miss a single one of our next mind-blowing videos. Now let's talk Denmark. Sure, it's a dot on the map in Northern Europe, but don't let its small size fool you. Denmark is part of a vast archipelago of over 400 islands, and while only about 70 of them are inhabited, the country holds one of the most surprising territories in the world. Greenland, the largest island on Earth, is under Danish rule. With over 2 million square kilometers of space, this massive, ice-covered land is home to the indigenous Inuit, often referred to as Eskimos. But Denmark's control over Greenland hasn't been without controversy. In the 1950s, the Danish government initiated a social experiment involving Inuit children that resulted in devastating consequences, leading to mental trauma, social isolation, and the tragic deaths of many young lives. This experiment, which was shrouded in secrecy for decades, remains one of the darkest chapters in Denmark's history. But Denmark is also known for its brighter side. It consistently ranks among the top countries in the world for quality of life. Its healthcare system is top-notch, and working conditions are enviable. That's why people from around the globe flock to this peaceful nation, hoping to build a better life. In fact, when you arrive in Denmark, you're welcomed with open arms and given a chance to succeed, often from day one. And no, I'm not just talking about job opportunities or social welfare. There's something else about Denmark that'll make you feel good right from the start. Something that has to do with its women. Curious? I'll explain more about that soon, but you'll want to stick around for this one. Let's dive deeper into what makes Denmark tick. Have you ever wondered where Denmark got its name? There are several theories, most of which tie back to the ancient languages and folklore of the region. The most widely accepted explanation is that Denmark means flatland or border forest. Fitting, given that Denmark is one of the flattest countries in the world. The country's highest point, Møllehøj, is merely a hill that reaches just 170 meters above sea level. From any point in Denmark, you're never more than 52 kilometers away from the sea. So it's no wonder the country is intertwined with a seafaring history that dates back centuries. In fact, Denmark's origins are deeply rooted in Viking history. These fierce warriors from the Scandinavian region roamed the seas, plundering and trading, long before Denmark was even recognized as a kingdom. The Vikings left their mark on European history, and their legacy is still felt throughout the country today. But Denmark is more than just a relic of the Viking era. It has grown into one of the most developed and industrialized countries in the world, with a modern economy and a high standard of living. Despite all this prosperity, Denmark isn't without its quirks. For example, did you know that the Danes have a unique approach to work-life balance? But wait, we're only scratching the surface. What's even more surprising is the Danish approach to parenting. In Denmark, parents enjoy one of the most generous maternity leave policies in the world. Imagine having 480 days, yes, that's over a year, of parental leave. Out of this, 60 days are mandatory as soon as the baby is born, and the rest can be shared between parents or saved for adoption. It's not uncommon to see fathers pushing strollers down the streets, fully engaged in the early days of their children's lives. And it's not just a rarity. Here, it's the norm. This incredible support system is one of the many reasons Denmark consistently ranks among the happiest countries on the planet. But all that happiness doesn't come without a price. Denmark is known for its high cost of living. The official currency, the Danish krone, isn't exactly cheap. For example, a simple beer could cost you around 45 kroner, about $7. However, Danes don't seem to mind. Why? Because they're also well compensated. High wages and a strong social safety net make the high cost of living a manageable trade-off. But life in Denmark isn't just about money. It's about experiences. Danes are known for living in the moment, and their love for simplicity is reflected in nearly every aspect of their lives. Take their homes, for example. Danish homes are functional, minimalist, and sometimes almost too minimalist. Imagine tiny bathrooms where the shower is right above the toilet, or worse, the bathroom is part of the kitchen. It might sound strange, but to Danes, less is more. This less is more philosophy extends beyond their homes and into how they live their daily lives. From organic food to eco-friendly products, Denmark is a country that values sustainability. You'll find organic pizza, organic hot dogs, and even organic ice cream in supermarkets and restaurants. This focus on healthy, environmentally conscious living is a big part of the Danish lifestyle. Speaking of sustainability, Danes are huge fans of cycling. In fact, Denmark's capital, Copenhagen, was ranked the most bicycle-friendly city in the world in 2015 and 2016. The city has separate bike lanes, traffic lights just for bikes, and its own set of biking rules and signs. Danes don't just ride bikes for fun. They use them to commute, shop, and even transport their kids to school. The city is designed for it, making cycling the most convenient and environmentally friendly way to get around. Copenhagen, though, is more than just a haven for cyclists. It's also home to some of Denmark's most iconic landmarks. One of them is the Little Mermaid, a small bronze statue perched on a rock in the harbor. It might not look like much at first glance, but this little statue is one of Denmark's most famous attractions, drawing millions of tourists every year. And what many people don't know is that it's based on the famous fairy tale by Danish writer Hans Christian Andersen. He's the mind behind stories like The Ugly Duckling, The Little Mermaid, The Emperor's New Clothes, and many others. His legacy is woven into the fabric of Danish culture, and you'll find his influence throughout the country. But Denmark isn't just about fairy tales and castles. It's also home to one of the oldest amusement parks in the world, Tivoli Gardens. This magical place, filled with rides, games, and outdoor shows, has been delighting visitors since 1843. It's said that Walt Disney himself visited Tivoli and was so inspired by its whimsical charm that it became part of the inspiration for Disneyland. If you ever find yourself in Denmark, Tivoli Gardens is one spot you won't want to miss. And while we're on the subject of history, let's not forget about Denmark's Viking heritage. The Vikings, fierce warriors who sailed from Scandinavia to conquer and trade, left an indelible mark on the country. You can still find remnants of Viking culture in Denmark today, especially at places like the Viking Ship Museum in Roskilde. This museum houses actual Viking ships that were recovered from the sea and offers visitors a glimpse into the life of these legendary seafarers. Now, remember earlier when I hinted at Denmark's unique approach to romance? Well, here's where things get interesting. Danish women are known for being spontaneous, especially when it comes to first dates. Unlike in many other cultures where there's an expectation to follow traditional dating rules, Danish women break the mold. A study by Victoria Milan, a website for adventurous relationships, revealed that Danish women are the most likely to end a first date in a hotel room. Yes, you heard that right. In Denmark, spontaneity and chemistry often take precedence over convention. In fact, 57% of Danish women said they're open to intimacy on the first date if the chemistry is right. It's not about planning or expectations, it's about being in the moment. But don't get the wrong idea, Danish culture is far from shallow. What truly matters to the Danes is the connection, the shared experience, and mutual respect. For them, happiness goes beyond material wealth or fleeting moments of fun. It's about a deeper sense of balance and well-being, which they refer to as hygge. Hygge is the Danish art of coziness, finding joy in the simple things, whether it's enjoying a warm cup of coffee on a rainy day, gathering with friends and family, or simply relaxing at home after a long day. It's a lifestyle that prioritizes comfort, contentment, and connection. So what do you think of Denmark so far? From its picturesque landscapes and rich history to its progressive social policies and intriguing cultural quirks, Denmark is a country full of surprises, and we've only just scratched the surface. There's so much more to discover about this fascinating country. Stick around as we explore 30 shocking things about Denmark that will leave you speechless. Let's get started. 110. Shocking historical and cultural facts. Approx. 10 minutes. Oldest monarchy in Europe. Denmark has the oldest continuous monarchy in Europe, dating back over 1,000 years. Queen Margrethe II is part of a lineage that has seen wars, revolutions, and transformations, yet remains a central figure in Danish culture today. The Danish Viking legacy. Denmark is the land of the Vikings, known for their seafaring raids and exploration. What might surprise you is that many of these Viking traditions still influence modern Danish life, from festivals to historical reenactments. The law against naming your child freely. Did you know there are strict regulations on what you can name your baby in Denmark? There's a government-approved list, and if you want to name your child something unusual, it has to be cleared first. Janteloven, the law of humility. This unwritten code essentially says, don't think you're better than anyone else. It's a huge part of Danish culture and explains a lot about why Danes seem so humble and down-to-earth. Hygge, the Danish way of life. This cozy, contented way of living has taken the world by storm, but for Danes, it's just a natural part of their lifestyle. Think candles, hot drinks, and snuggling up with friends and family. No concept of private schools. Denmark is known for its progressive education system, and one of the shocking facts is that there's virtually no distinction between public and private schools. Everyone has access to quality education. The Danish flag, world's oldest national flag. The Annebrog, Denmark's flag, holds the title for being the oldest continuously used national flag. Legend says it fell from the sky during a battle in 1219. Tivoli Gardens, the inspiration for Disneyland. One of the world's oldest amusement parks, Tivoli Gardens opened in 1843. Walt Disney visited Tivoli and was so inspired that he modeled Disneyland after it. Danes bike everywhere. You might know that Denmark is a bike-friendly country, but did you know that more than half of Copenhagen's population commutes by bike? Rain or shine, they pedal through the city, showing their dedication to an eco-friendly lifestyle. Denmark's strict immigration policies. Despite being known for its progressive welfare state, Denmark has surprisingly strict immigration policies. This has been a hot topic of debate both locally and internationally. 11 to 20. Shocking natural and geographical facts. Approximated 10 minutes. Denmark's flat terrain. While the country's natural beauty is undeniable, it might shock you that the highest point in Denmark is just 561 feet, 171 meters above sea level. No towering mountains here. The country's many islands. Denmark consists of over 400 islands, though only about 70 are inhabited. Some of these islands are so remote that they have their own unique ecosystems and traditions. Greenland is Danish territory. Most people don't know that Greenland is an autonomous territory of Denmark. With a landmass 50 times larger than Denmark itself, it's a massive contrast to the small, flat country. Samso Island, completely renewable energy. This small island runs entirely on renewable energy. Samso is a shining example of Denmark's commitment to sustainability and innovation in green technologies. Dark winters, bright summers. Denmark's location in the northern hemisphere means it experiences long, dark winters with very few hours of daylight. But in the summer, the sun hardly sets. Copenhagen's artificial islands. Copenhagen is expanding, but not just horizontally. The city is building artificial islands to create more space for homes, businesses, and even nature reserves. World's cleanest drinking water. In Denmark, you can drink tap water anywhere, and it's often cleaner and more refreshing than bottled water. The country takes pride in its advanced water filtration systems. Electricity from wind power. Denmark is a world leader in wind power generation, with wind energy accounting for nearly 50% of the country's electricity consumption. The Black Sun phenomenon. In the southwestern part of Denmark, you can witness the mesmerizing black sun when tens of thousands of starlings flock together in intricate, synchronized formations. Jutland's unique landscape. The mainland part of Denmark, Jutland, has a unique landscape of rolling hills and wide beaches. It's also home to one of Denmark's oldest and most important national parks. 21 to 30. Shocking modern and social facts. Approximate 10 minutes. Highest taxes in the world. Danes pay some of the highest taxes globally, with income tax reaching up to 55%. But this high taxation provides them with free health care, education, and generous welfare benefits. Denmark's happiness ranking. Despite high taxes, Denmark consistently ranks as one of the happiest countries in the world. Their focus on work-life balance, social equality, and hygge lifestyle plays a big role. Copenhagen is car-free in some areas. In a push toward sustainability, parts of Copenhagen have become car-free zones, encouraging walking, cycling, and public transportation. Freetown, Christiania, a self-proclaimed autonomous neighborhood. This commune in Copenhagen operates independently from the Danish government, with its own rules and a distinct culture of art, music, and alternative lifestyles. No tips necessary in Denmark. Tipping isn't expected in Denmark as workers are paid fair wages. Whether in restaurants or taxis, the price you see is what you pay. Denmark's pioneering gender equality. Denmark has been a leader in gender equality for decades. The country has strong laws supporting equal pay, parental leave, and women in leadership positions. Danes marry late and have kids. Later in life. On average, Danes get married and have children later than in most countries. This reflects the country's focus on career, education, and financial stability before starting a family. Legalize same-sex marriages. Denmark was the first country in the world to legalize same-sex partnerships in 1989 and has continued to lead the way on LGBTQ+ rights. The Little Mermaid statue. The iconic Little Mermaid statue in Copenhagen is much smaller than tourists expect. Standing only about 4 feet tall, it's a surprisingly petite tribute to Hans Christian Andersen's famous tale. A tradition of burning witches. Every year on June 23rd, Danes celebrate Sankt Hans Aften by lighting bonfires and burning effigies of witches to ward off evil spirits. It's a shocking yet deeply rooted tradition. And there you have it, 30 shocking facts about Denmark. Whether it's their fascinating history, progressive society, or natural wonders, Denmark continues to amaze. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more fascinating content. Thanks for watching.